Welcome to JLive. I'm Laura Mandel, Executive Director of the Jewish Arts Collaborative, and it's great to be with you for JLive, our virtual series of bite-sized conversations about Jewish life and art with the best artists with Boston connections. Today, we're lucky to be with the man who I consider to be the king of Pita in Boston, Ilan Bar Niv. Welcome, Ilan.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody.
Hello. And so if you don't know yet, Ilan is the chef and entrepreneurial mind behind BONAPITA, a chain which began downtown and now has a location in West Roxbury, as well as soon to be a third location. And of course, today is an extra special JLive because we are in the middle of the 4th annual Taste of Israel Restaurant Week. And for me, Ilan and BONAPITA are just the perfect example of what this week brings to our community. So of course, if you have questions during our conversation, please put them in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen and we'll answer as many questions as time allows. So, Ilan, you know how much I love BONAPITA and especially the barekas. So I want to start there because I love your barekas. Tell us.
So first of all, thank you so much for the intro. And we start right away with the food. So this is great. You know what? We're talking about barekas and I have to say something about it. Not about the dish, but the fact is that most of the chefs cooked out of memory. And barekas for me, it's a memory. It's getting me into my 20s as a child. As a kid in Israel, I used to eat barekas all the time. But there's one memory about barekas that just goes with me for over 30 years now. And you know what we called here in the States a farmer's market. In Israel, it's an actual daily market. It's called shuk. And there's a big shuk, there's a big market in every city. I'm talking today about the one in Tel Aviv. It's called Shuk HaCarmel. And there was a Turkish guy over there. And his wife used to make these amazing barekas. And they baked it daily. And he had a little cart in the shuk. And I used to go there, and the guy used to choose one of those amazing barekas they just freshly baked. And he just cut it, you know, just like we cut a bagel. So to make a sandwich out of it. And then he will take a little a fresh tomato and we will slice it. He layer it inside the barekas, top it, season it with a little salt and pepper, and then he'll take a little, not a little, he'll take a hard-boiled egg, peel it, put it inside the barekas, cut it, chop it with a knife, again, season it with salt and pepper. He'll put it into a paper bag, stick a little bit of a pickle on top, and that's it. It's amazing. Just thinking about it, I think I know what I'm going to have after this presentation.
Okay, I'm going to be ordering another one because I have to say you just described exactly what I think of when I think of Israeli barekas and what I for years have wished we had more of in Boston, because I must have been about 18 when I went to Israel and had the same experience, exactly what you're describing. And I just love the idea that in Boston we now have this opportunity of these real Israeli barekas filled with things. It's just, I just think they're delicious and so interesting. So, all right, so tell us, aside from barekas, what else do you have going on this week for Taste of Israel?
So we're in the process to introduce our breakfast menu soon. So we added a couple items, especially for this week, but soon in the future, it's going to be on daily basis, like the shakshuka. It's a big trend now in the States. There's shakshuka everywhere. We introduced the barekas, of course. We also added another protein option to our menu, which is our chicken skewers with they marinated in Silan. And Silan is it's a date honey. It's a natural sweetener. It's delicious. And these are the main three new items we added. We made a couple more changes to the menu, but maybe we'll talk about it later.
Absolutely. And I love that. I can vouch for the skewers. Even my 6-year-old thinks they're amazing. So everyone's happy with those in my house. So tell us, how did you start BONAPITA?
Oh, so well, I always wanted to open a restaurant, but coming from the world of upscale cuisine, upscale restaurants, upscale catering, I felt like I will not be able to get to everybody with things that cost a lot, you know. And the initiative was to sell food that is affordable, fresh, high quality, in a high-paced environment. And this is why I started in downtown Boston with the first location, where we could have reached a lot of people at lunch. And actually, the restaurant in downtown reached approximately 500, 600 people a day at lunch only.
It's amazing. That's amazing. I also have to say, I love how you told me that when you were first doing research to open the restaurant, that you stood on the street and counted heads. And I just love how you have this incredible mix of business sense and this, you know, you're an incredible chef. And I think that's a really special mix. So, okay, another thing I love on your menu that I think has an interesting story is the black bean and beet falafel. Tell us about it.
Okay, so when I opened the downtown location, there were many falafel Lebanese restaurants around, and I didn't want to make another falafel. Coming from Israel, the first thing that comes to mind in a fast food restaurant, it's falafel and shawarma, right? So the decision was to make a falafel but different, and I wanted a vegan dish. And I started to work at a time on a protein that was based on black bean, but now, actually, a couple of days ago, we switched it back into the veggie burger slider size, and it's a great dish. I think what's interesting about it is that why black beans and beets? And the idea was that I didn't want to make a dish only for vegan people. And I wanted it to look similar to a burger. I needed something ready in it. Just, you know what I mean. So the beet was a good decision and it came up wonderful. It's a really delicious dish.
I have to say, it's one of my favorite things just because it tastes delicious. But when you told me that you put in the beet to replicate the sort of bloody look of meat, I thought that was just brilliant. So nicely done. I highly recommend checking that out, everyone. Okay, so I said up at the front that I consider you to be the king of pita in Boston. I think your pita is just unbelievable and it tastes like Israel. Can you tell us about your backstory with pita and how it is that you came to be baking all of this pita?
Sure. So when I first started the concept, I was looking for pita. I really wanted the pita to be the center of the dish. You know, the way it holds the fillings, it's different from a regular sandwich we know. Even when you eat a burger, it's always dripping. It's not a bad thing. I love burgers, but I was looking for something different. And I couldn't find any pitas back then. We're talking about around 7 years back. And I called Israel to some of the pita suppliers, and I was trying to get it in here. I saw it's going to be difficult, but I thought it's going to be difficult to get it, but I decided to bake the pita. And it's part of my concept of making everything in-house, to cook everything from scratch, everything fresh, and it works well. And I'm very happy we made this move and we bake the pita freshly, daily, fresh in the morning. I think it's a great product.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I also love that in addition to being a grill, BONAPITA, you actually call a bakery. And I think that it's interesting because you have not only the pita, but you make, and the barricas we already talked about, but empanadas as well. Tell us a little bit about the empanadas.
So what really changed uh, not my concept, but the dishes, the menu is the COVID-19. We now cater to individuals or families that sits at home and they need more variety. And I was looking for a snack that is not a full dish, something that people really like, on the way. And the empanadas was a take on a sambusak that is an Israeli dish. It looks similar. It's I would say sambusak is a deep fried dough filled with the chickpeas. And I wanted something similar, but after we made the first one with the beef, we couldn't go back. It came up so good, and you know what? Those empanadas flies.
I have a few in the fridge right now. I love them. They're fantastic. So, okay, since you mentioned COVID, I have been so inspired by what you've done over the past few months. And you started to tell me how at one point you brought meals, prepackaged meals to a senior living facility, and that's expanded to food pantries. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. That is such an incredible community service.
Okay, so first of all, COVID to many restaurants, it turned up not in a good way. And I say unfortunately because it's a lot of my friends just don't own restaurants anymore. But I figured right away that I have to change. I mean, if we're gonna keep on doing what we're doing, we're not going to exist. And one of the things I decided to focus is to try and help others. And it turned out that there was one senior living that asked me if we can donate something for, it was Rosh Hashanah, for one the major holidays, to the tenants in this senior living. And we said, of course, it's not a question. We'll be happy to do so. And we made platters for each one. Apparently, and that's something I learned, that they're all sitting in their own rooms, all by themselves for the holidays. The second thing we learned is that a lot of the tenants passed away in this senior living house. And it really touched me. And at the same time, since June, we started to work with the food pantry, the Center Street Food Pantry in Newton. And I approached them and I suggested that maybe we can, for the holidays, and I approached them and I suggested that for the holiday season, we talk about Thanksgiving and Christmas, we will donate meals for people who sit by themselves at home. And it turned to be something that there was a need for it. First of all, not everybody can cook by themselves. And we suggested a cooked meal for the holiday. It turned, we donated in this month over 500 meals. And that was with the help of some of you, and thank you. Some of our customers online order those meals and they pay for us to deliver meals to the food pantry. And just so you know, last week, we started on a weekly basis to donate 50 meals every week. So
Wow.
it's unfortunately, there's a lot of need. When we started in June, there were 60 families that we got them food. Now it's 225 families.
Wow.
We're talking about roughly 1,000 people a week that come only for this food pantry. I mean, there's a lot more, there's a lot of need out there.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. I know there's so much need and it takes all of us to chip in to fix these problems. So
Absolutely.
that's amazing. And also, I think it led you to this B'nai Mitzvah project that you were telling me about. Tell us.
So this is another initiative with the every families who wants to donate or give something for the community, to the community. We let them for, I'll give you an example from last week. This bat mitzvah girl, the family donated $180. It's 15 meals. We had the girl came into the restaurant. They made labels that we put on each plate, and it was a greeting card or something that about what she's doing. And she went with me to the food pantry, and she got a memory. She did something very nice, and a lot of people were amazed at the 12 years old, just donating and doing something for the community. I think it's a great initiative.
It really is. And I know where so many, kids are looking for B'nai Mitzvah projects. I think this is a really beautiful opportunity. So for anybody listening, please know that that's an opportunity and you can reach out to Ilan to make it happen.
We took pictures, we made a couple of videos. So she's really got something to take with her to the future.
It's beautiful. I love that. Talk about a special way to celebrate a bar bat mitzvah, especially in COVID, but anytime. That's really clever.
Absolutely.
So tell us just quickly, what's up next for BONAPITA? Because I know you have some big plans.
So first of all, we have to, in this location in West Roxbury, we would like to introduce breakfast. A breakfast menu. We would like the next stage is to open every day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's a big move for us. It's very risky, but we're willing to try. Thinking that 10 months ago, we were talking about the possibility of going bankrupt. I think it's a big mover for us right now to be open every day, to be here for our customers every day. And the second thing is to reopen the downtown location. We're going daily for deliveries in downtown, and it's just about time we'll reopen. I don't know in what capacity, but hopefully at the same capacity as West Roxbury, 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's great to hear because you have some very loyal followers, because between the questions in the chat, I can tell you, there are actually very few questions, more compliments. A couple people saying that they really appreciate the downtown location and that they work around the neighborhood and they eat there regularly. A couple people have said that your pita is absolutely the best. And actually there's a question of, is there a recipe you would share for your pita? Or is that a no-no? Is it secret?
Like asking the main secret of BONAPITA.
Right?
I'm telling all my employees, the pita is part of our name. We have to keep making it right. So unfortunately, the pita, we cannot share the recipe, but every restaurant needs a little secret, right?
Yes, and it's more motivation for people to buy your pita. So if you're me, you buy a pack often and you freeze it so that you have it whenever you need it.
That's right. Most people just buy them fresh, they freeze it. You just pop one into the microwave for 45 seconds and it's just like new.
Totally. I love it. Well, Ilan, we are at time, but I just have to say thank you so much. I think you have brought so much to our community year round and certainly during Taste of Israel. And for me personally, I told you, I'm so appreciative of those barekas, but everything you do for our community. So really, thank you for everything.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No, this was wonderful. And just so everyone knows, Ilan also has some really great new cooking videos that he's been doing that are on online on YouTube, and he's creating more. So if you want to know maybe not how to make the pita, but some of the other tricks to some of his delicious dishes, he will have more videos online soon, I believe. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. Actually,
awesome.
Last night, we had for the first time a live cooking show for 1 hour and a half. It was great.
Great. If anybody's interested, message us. We'll do another one. So,
we'll do it together.
Ilan, Awesome. This has been wonderful. I can't get enough of your food. And I just want everyone to remember that next up on JLive, we have composer and Yiddish lover Derek David coming up on February 11th at 7 o'clock. Should be really wonderful. And of course, programs like today are only made possible by generous support by people like all of you. So thank you so much. And if you love what you're seeing, please consider making a donation at jartsboston.org. Ilan, much more to come. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
I
so
hope
much.
everyone go out and eat, and you will not be sorry if you order extra barekas from BONAPITA. That's my pitch.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ilan. Talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.